Now, what always puzzled me with internal audit reports, that the best that you can get is satisfactory. Why? Why is it that you're a top performer and you meet everything that needs to be met with internal audit and you're just satisfactory? And then from there it's downhill. Needs improvements, needs major improvements. I think this is really a reflection of the frame of mind. From a manager's standpoint, again, I go back to the acrimonious relationship, a relationship that's always at odds. It's very difficult for a general manager to get an exceed performance or consistently exceed performance, if you get either a just borderline satisfactory or below that. So really, in a nutshell, these I feel are areas where there are opportunities to improve not only internal audit, but really the interaction between internal audit and its clients. It's a two-way game, I think.
All right. Do you think, for example, let's start from the last example you gave, that internal audit report sometimes needs to give credit, for example, for the, let's say, area under audit, like highlighting some of the positive aspects in the department? Is that important for the, let's say, the management or the function?
Look, I feel it's important, but I think what's more important is the lexicon, the language. Why is it when I mention lexicon, I mean whether you've got stellar results on all accounts, you are satisfactory, or you just scrape through, you have some violations here, some variances here, but you know what, from a total number standpoint, you just made it just 1 point above needs improvement and you hit satisfactory. I don't think the general manager has been compensated for that. And the team, the management team, the leadership team of the organization has been rewarded. Whether they scrape through just above needs improvement or they nailed it with no exception, they exceeded expectation on every count. Internal audit couldn't find a beep to comment on. Is satisfactory. So why is that?
So do you think if they come from an advisory approach to help the management complete the implementation, is it a better approach? Will you accept the audit this way other than the traditional way?
Look, I have no option but to accept the audit coming in and conducting the work. And I have to continue to be civil and very professional with them when they come in. Even with the conventional approach, for me, there's value to be had in that. Because as I said, as a general manager, when I'm wearing the general manager hat and the management leadership of the organization, they are typically externally focused. So it's good every year to have an exercise where we do a reasonability check that are the rest of the staffers, more junior, middle management, really abiding by the policies and procedures. Because frankly, as a general manager, as board members, even as department heads, everybody everybody subscribes to and is aligned to the necessity of the policies and procedures. So even within the conventional, I welcome them and I want to and I need to work with them. But I would say that as I look to innovate and as I look to become more resilient in a highly competitive market, one of the ways that I can draw on best practices, better technology, tried and proven approaches is through desk research, through attending seminars and symposium, through recruiting new, more professional, more experienced staff. All of these cost me time and money. Even desk research takes away time from conducting business. Recruiting higher caliber people who have experience in either regional organizations or MNCs, multinational corporations, costs money. There'd be nothing that I would welcome more than having internal auditors, who, by the way, I would still need to pay for, even though this is a requirement of my board, but it still impacts my bottom line because I, along with other companies, whether within a conglomerate or standalone, we still need to pay for that. Since I'm paying for it, there is nothing more that I would welcome if the internal auditor, as part of their MO, modus operandi, they come in and they say, look, these are the variances and these are the audits. And let me tell you, On the next page, I want to walk you through what we have experienced in other companies, whether it is relating to the sales function, handheld devices that enable real-time reporting, a dashboard of numbers, whether it is supply chain introducing this software that enables you to basically very quickly compare across the board from different websites of suppliers and their prices, be it from a marketing standpoint, looking at the most cost-effective channels to market your product. There are multitudes today of solutions that are IT-driven, that are disruptive to the conventional way of doing business. And because internal audits, very conventional businesses like fast-moving consumer goods and cutting-edge businesses like IT solution providers, or even startups where they become of enough mass where internal audit is required. So there's really a wealth of knowledge that can be brought to bear in the reports of internal auditors as they come in and audit any organization. So there's frankly nothing more there's nothing I would welcome more than having them come in with ideas around value add. And I'm confident even today, a lot of these auditors have a lot of these ideas, but because they're not rewarded for it, it's not clearly indicated in their KPIs that if you identify this, you will be rewarded, you will be differentiated from your peer group. There's really no incentive. In fact, they are penalized for missing out on certain gaps. Remember the issue about the board of directors having long-standing issues that come discovered because of, despite clean reports. So the direction from top down from the internal audit team is, look, no, it's not about value add. What we need to focus on is there are no slippages. It requires a paradigm shift from the board that internal audit reports to, from the leadership team of the internal audit report. And frankly, there's nobody more welcoming of that paradigm shift than the management of the company.
All right, and you mentioned examples of how the businesses now are agile and moving very fast. So do you think internal auditors are required to be agile as well? I mean, in their way of doing audits and reporting and communication with board and management?
Look, agility is the name of game today. Things are moving at a very rapid pace. One of the challenges I faced really with internal audit, as you mentioned, the point of agility and speed. When internal audit comes in and does a report, conducts an internal audit, very often I'm very keen to look at it to understand in a timely manner what are the issues that the company currently faces and how can I fix it today. Because really the premise is internal audit helps the management identify issues that are occurring today as they conduct that report. And I am paying as a management of the company for internal audit to conduct this to help me identify these gaps. And as I said earlier on, sometimes management at a fault is so focused on the day-to-day and responsiveness to the market with an external view that they don't look at internally, they don't look at their issues internally. So the premise here is you need to identify these issues before they fester, before they become compounded, before the remedy becomes more complex. There have been instances, frankly, where internal audit reports have taken up to maybe 5 to 6 months to be published from the date of the conclusion of the visit to the company. Now, from my perspective, that's, I'm not going to say counterproductive, but that's regrettable. I think it would be much more helpful if the reports are published, I say within a month of conducting the audit. I'm not sure if I answered your question, but no, I tend to agree. There is a need to get the reports published sooner and for the business management to basically look at it and understand and put in process the required remedies.